Hey guys, it's me, Pinky C, the mental kid, yet again. I thought today I would kind of weigh in my opinion on some current events that are going on, and that is this whole ACLU versus Taylor Swift situation that's going on. Before I even begin, I want to make it clear, I'm not really much of a Taylor Swift fan. And I know people are like clutching at themselves at the moment, but I mean, sure, there's some of her songs that are pretty catchy to listen to on the radio, but as you guys already know, I'm more of a metalhead. So this is not an attempt to side with her or side with ACLU. I am literally weighing in on my opinion on the whole situation in a nutshell. For those of you who don't really know what I'm talking about, don't know what's going on, a small blogger got online and wrote a piece basically accusing Taylor Swift of white supremacy versus through her lyrics, not verses, excuse me, but through her lyrics, and kind of likened her to Hitler and Donald Trump, and just said that her new song look what you made me do was secretly all about white supremacy and white victimhood and being against black people and Kanye West and so on and so forth. Now, whether or not this is true has nothing to do with my point whatsoever. Right now, my point is specifically using our platform for, for fights that we need to be using it for. And what I mean by that is racism in any form needs to be fought against. Anything that goes against human rights needs to be fought against. But that also includes fighting against people who are trying to take away our human right at freedom of speech. And no matter how much a person's opinion sucks, it is not our right to say what they say one way or the other. If you listen to the lyrics, watch the video, really the argument is kind of baseless. And sure, if you're thinking in that context, I'm sure you can bend the lyrics to mean whatever you want them to mean. That is what music does. Music is up to the interpretation of the person listening, and is one of the beauties of freedom of speech and of music itself, is being able to interpret it the way we need it for that moment. So one of the bloggers' points was that some white supremacists had latched onto this song and began using it for their beliefs and putting it towards their beliefs in the way they wanted the song to mean. But that doesn't mean that's what she meant. And whether, bad people are globbing onto this song or good people are globbing onto this song, it's not a point that should be used. And I feel like jumping on bandwagons like this one with arguments that really have no exact point, that are not based in 100% fact, are hurting our cause to making real change. Because when people who it's already hard to change their mind as it is, it's already hard to get our point across to them as it is, when these people see people jumping on a bandwagon for something like this, then they just want to roll their eyes at the whole thing and be like, you know what, these guys are arguing over song lyrics, so why should we listen to them about anything? And that's where it's hurting us. Alright, if you want to fight against racism and you want to fight for LGBTQ rights and human rights and freedom of speech and the rights of those with mental disabilities, so on and so forth, jump on factual based problems. ACLU stands for American Civil Liberties Union. And they specifically say that they have built their lives around trying to keep Donald Trump and many others from being able to stamp all over our civil liberties. And I can see that when they jumped on the bandwagon with this blogger, it was because Taylor Swift and her team were threatening to sue. And they were saying, no, you can't sue her. What she said was freedom of speech. It was. Whatever that girl blogged was her right. Whatever Taylor Swift sang was also her right. So the point is moot. The point is moot. And I feel like ACLU jumping on this bandwagon and saying, yeah, Taylor Swift, you're a bad person for this, is really just hurting everybody's cause. Because it can't be fixed either way. Either way, it's freedom of speech. Either way, it's up to interpretation. And it just makes all of our truly hard fought for fights look less important. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want the world to look at those trying so hard to fight for human rights and just roll their eyes because we're fighting over song lyrics. I don't. If her song lyrics specifically said something of a white supremacist base, then I would be all for this. But they don't. We all know that she's had beef with 100 different singers and boyfriends and all this. And that's really what I think that song was about. Was just more getting things off her chest. And if some bad people turned it into what they wanted it to mean, then that's their fault. That's them. That's those bad people. And that's where it should be left to lie. I don't know why this has blown up into what it has. Try not to be part of the problem. We all tend to want to jump on bandwagons and be full of hate. And we all have the right to be offended for whatever reason we're offended for. If this person is offended by something we're not offended by, that's their right. If they want to believe something wholeheartedly that we know is wrong, we can't force them to change. But we can make the right decisions. We can fight the right way for the right things. Use our brains, use our intelligence, use our common sense to help make this world a better place. And that's where I'm at. Like I said, I literally am not on Taylor Swift's side. I'm not on the blogger's side. I'm not on ACLU's side. I am on the side of what's right in fighting for human rights all across the board. So, you don't have to agree with me. Even in this situation, you have a right to not agree with me. You have a right to be offended by what I'm saying. But I'm honestly just trying to say, if we're going to fight, let's fight for the things that matter the most. There are horrible things happening all over the world. Look at what's happening in Israel right now. I believe it's Israel, where the young homosexual boys flew a homosexual gay rights flag at a concert and were unlawfully imprisoned afterward, and from what we've heard, are more than likely being horribly tortured. Let's fight for them. Let's fight for, let's fight against true supremacy. Let's fight against true hate. Let's fight against those things we have real evidence for, that we know this is what they're trying to do. We know this is what they're trying to say. Those are the things we need to fight against. And we don't need to fight them fire for fire. We need to fight them by being smarter. We need to fight them by being more compassionate and teaching them that hate brings nothing but hate. And that's my only point. So I'm sorry if I'm rambling, you guys, but I just felt like this needed to be said. You know, my whole channel is built around helping people who cannot help themselves. Taylor Swift is a big girl, and she'll be okay. And the blogger who wrote her piece, she's a big girl, I'm sure, and I'm sure she'll be okay. There are more pressing matters at hand. There are more important things in this world than song lyrics and fighting over those. So, if you agreed with me, please, you guys, give this a big thumbs up. Leave some comments down below. Subscribe with notifications on so you know when my next video goes up. And as always, I hope I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!